Om Namah Shivaya. Episode 77, Chapter 13, verses 31 to 34. Atma remains limitless even when associated with our limited body. It has been clearly shown that Atma is one pure consciousness in all the kshetras, and nothing is separate from Atma. Atma remains limitless and free, even when associated with the limitation of our body-mind-sense complex. Verse 31, Sri Krishna addresses Arjuna as Kaunteya and explains why. First, because Atma has no beginning. Anaditvat. Atma was there before creation. There is no cause for Atma, but Atma is the cause for this creation. Atma remains limitless and free even when this creation gets dissolved. Our physical body, kshetra, has a beginning. It gets born. And anything that has a beginning will decline and finally gets destroyed in time. Second, Atma has no attributes. Nirgunatvat. The problems of our mind does not get transferred to Atma. Atma remains complete and blissful even when associated with the limitation of our body-mind senses. Whereas all objects have attributes. It changes when it is associated with another object, like milk gets diluted when water is added. Third, the limitless self Atma is imperishable. Param Atma, Ayam Avyaya. As Atma has no beginning, has no attributes, does not change, it also cannot be destroyed. Fourth, even though Atma is present in this body, Atma performs no action. Sharirasta api na karoti. When this body performs an action, we think that Atma is engaged in action. This is an error because Atma is not the doer. But in Atma's presence, all activities takes place. Fifth, since Atma is not the doer, Atma is also not affected by the results of action done by this body. Na lipyate. Atma illumines the action taken to fulfill a desire. And when the results come, whether it is to our expectation or not, Atma remains unaffected. Now the question is, who does the action? Being blessed by Atma, there is a force in Prakriti called Prakriti Vasat. Because of Prakriti Vasat, consciousness is reflected in our intellect that enable our body-mind senses to do action. Verse 32 illustrates how Atma does not act and remains unaffected by all the activities that takes place in our body, the kshetra. First, just like the all-pervasive space, being subtle is not affected. Yata sarvagatam sauksham yat Akasham na upalipyate. Space being subtle is all pervasive, has no form, has no attribute, and is not affected by all the activities that takes place within. We can erect walls, we can even throw rubbish, space remain unstained. Second, so too the self Atma, abiding in all states in our body, is not affected. Sarvatra avastitaha dehe tata Atma na upalipyate. Whether our mind is pleased or displeased, has a longing or aversion, is angry or frustrated, the self Atma who obtains in all states, though never away from them, remains unaffected. It is not necessary for the mind to be quiet or for thoughts to be dismissed for Atma to reveal itself. In verse 33, Sri Krishna illustrates how one Atma can illumine all the bodies, all the kshetras. First, just like one sun illumines the entire creation, yata prakashayati eka krishnam lokam imam ravihi. Second, so too the Atma, Kshetri, the one who is obtained in all the Kshetra, illumines the entire Kshetra and the entire creation, O Arjuna. Kshetram Kshetri tata Krishnam prakashayati Bharata. Kshetri is Atma, the one for whom the body is the Kshetra. There is only one self-effulgent Param Atma, illumining our body, mind, senses and the entire world. Atma remains unaffected by whatever it illumines. It illumines both happiness and sadness, birth and death, etc. Because Atma is not subject to objectification, and nothing in this creation can affect the Atma. Atma is the pure consciousness, is not within space. But Atma is the very basis for space. Verse 34 sums up the entire vision of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. First, we must know in the manner as taught in this chapter, Ye evam viduhu, the distinction between the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna. Kshetra Kshetrajno antaram. This is very important because everybody knows the Kshetra is the world and Kshetrajna is Atma. But this is not enough. When we say we are Kshetrajna, we must know that we are Satchit Ananda Atma, the one Atma in all the Kshetras. We are all-knowing, all-powerful, all-pervasive, complete and eternal, out of whom this entire creation has come about, who illumines this entire creation and itself is free from everything. Second, this is to be known through the eye of wisdom, Jnana Chakshusa. Jnana Chakshur is defined as the cognition by which we recognize the nature of Atma. Here, the grace of Ishvara is required for the teacher and the student to come together. Then, through the grace of the Sastra, the teacher teaches the Sastra for the student to listen, analyze, and contemplate upon the one truth that Atma is Brahman. When this knowledge is converted to wisdom, the student gains immediate recognition of themselves as Satchit Ananda Atma. This recognition alone is the opening of the eye of wisdom. The eye is a good analogy here because just like the eye that is covered by cataracts, our mind has been covered by ignorance. And the removal of our ignorance is gaining the eye of wisdom. Third, the final result of gaining the eye of wisdom is we have gained freedom from Prakriti, the cause of all beings and elements, Bhuta Prakriti Moksha, to reach the ultimate end, Yanti Te Param. While living, we are liberated. We have gained the purpose of human birth. With this, we conclude chapter 13 entitled Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, and chapter 14 is entitled Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the division of the three gunas. So till then, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashisate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.